What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to CFL Central, CFL content for the fans, by the fans. Now, today we're going to be doing our Week 10 previews for the CFL's 2022 season. But before we do that, a word from our sponsor.
But first, before we get into that, we got to talk about today's sponsor, which is BetStamp. Now, BetStamp is not a traditional sports betting website. It does not offer you one money line. It will actually offer you many money lines from a variety of sources and other betting websites. So that way you can make the most for every bet you make. So make sure when you download it from the App Store, or if you use the link in the description below to the website, you will use code CFL Central, so that way they know that you're coming from us and you're saving money. So that way you can make the most out of your bets and get the biggest possible payout instead of whatever just your app will offer you. So thanks again to BetStamp for sponsoring this video. Let's get back into it.
Carter, how are we feeling going into Week 10? Let's kick it off with this Bomber game. We got Montreal playing Winnipeg in Winnipeg on Thursday. How are we feeling going into this match? Are the Bombers going 10-0?
Yeah, well, honestly, I think the Bombers do, and the reason why is because if you take a look at last week's game versus Montreal, we have to look at this from both standpoints. Okay, on the Bomber side of things, is anything going to get worse? There's a possibility of maybe guys coming back from injury. No one was injured in that game, from what I heard of, and everyone that was there should be there. Now you have the possibility of Agadosi and Ellingson, or at least one of those guys coming back, so that could benefit the Bombers. Bombers have also been proven, at least I would say, to play better on home field. They have
without a doubt, they've been insane. They haven't lost a game on home field.
They haven't lost
a
game at home field in a very, very long time, and the issues that they have on the road, I think them coming back and having a home game is going to be really beneficial to them. Just kind of recouping and getting back on that right stride that they were in closer to the start of the season when they were having more home games. On the Montreal side of things, they were able to put up quite a decent fight for the most part against Winnipeg this past week. However, I don't see them being able to do enough to overcome everything that's against them. So I got to take the Bombers in this one, although I think they could put up a decent fight in this game.
I feel the exact same way as you. I like Montreal. I have this season. I think they've had some bad luck, but I don't think they're a terrible team. But they're not beating the Bombers. This is not the week where they go in, where they lose. I just don't see it happening, especially based off the last week's performance. Like we said, Caleros wasn't perfect, but the team came up and bailed them out and got the W nonetheless. I'm taking the Bombers on home field. It's going to be a great game. And, I got high hopes for this one, and I think it'll be good, and you'll definitely be enjoying it in person, as always. So, let's jump into the next game on Friday, Toronto versus Hamilton.
Again.
Which we will be seeing on the schedule for a long time.
Toronto versus Hamilton all the time. You're going to be hearing that a lot, guys. But no. So...
Okay, I'm going to be able to do this in 30 seconds. I'm going to see how long it takes you to cover this, because, it's the same as how I feel about last week.
There's not
the battle for whoever cannot be shit in the East gets first place. That's all this next couple weeks is.
Well, the thing is that I feel like if I really dive into this, it's going to be really repetitive of the last preview we had. So
and the review probably too.
I don't know. Maybe you know what? I'll say as much as I was wrong last week, I'll take Hamilton just because they're on home field and I think they play better on home field. I'll take that for that reason.
All right. You know what? I like that.
Equally possible that Toronto wins, though.
I'm going to say that it's going to be Hamilton, too, because Hamilton lost last week, and even though I picked Hamilton last week and they lost, I'm going to ride with Hamilton again. I think Hamilton's a better team than Toronto is, honestly. I do. I think they've had a worse start, so I'm taking them. Let's see what happens. What's the worst going to happen when you got two crap teams playing each other in Ontario? So let's move on to the next game.
We say two crap teams being the first and second in their own division.
Yeah, look at the standings, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Look at the standings before you come at me. It's factual. I don't want to hear that we're first in the East. The East is a joke. Let's jump into the next game. This is going to be a fun one. BC versus Calgary on Saturday. I am very excited for this game. This will be a good one. The Lions have been on a roll lately, and I think last week was a really good show of it, that, look, we can beat these easy fodder teams like nothing, so let's play a real team in the Alberta province, and it's going to be a good matchup. I'm taking BC. I love the Lions, and I don't like Calgary. I think the Lions are the next big team out in the West once the Bombers run is over this year, and if it's even over at that, the Lions will be the big dogs if Rourke's there for a while. They're too young, and they're getting better and better every game. But I think Calgary is going to put on a good show still nonetheless this season in their farewell tour kind of thing, and it's going to be a good one, but I'm taking BC.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if Kadeem Carey is going to be back for the Stampeders. That will absolutely be a factor, as that's a big part of that Calgary running game. And it's funny, you know what I actually think would be Calgary's biggest mistake that they could make going into this game?
What's that?
Starting Bo Levi Mitchell.
I agree.
And you know why? And it's because Bo Levi Mitchell, as we saw in this past week, Bo Levi Mitchell, he does. If you've looked at his career and looked at each season he's had, there's one of two trends. Either he starts hot and then he kind of tails off, or he starts really bad and then really ramps up. Last season he started bad, really ramped up. Last game we started to see Bo Levi Mitchell start to kind of teeter off that. And I think if they're gonna want to go against a team with a young, strong quarterback, and I say strong as an understatement, with Nathan Rourke, I think mixing it up and putting in Jake Maier would actually be quite good, because you have to remember that when BC is looking at film of Calgary, they're looking at film of Bo Levi Mitchell. They've played him all season. Jake Maier has proven, though, through this past season, that if he's getting thrown in out of nothing, he can work with that, and he can really succeed. And I think the best thing they can do to have a good shot at beating the Lions is to really try to exploit where the Lions have prepared. They've prepared for Bo Levi Mitchell, so by not presenting them with Bo Levi Mitchell, they can try a little bit of trickery on the Lions, and maybe they can get something past them. However, I don't see them overcoming the strength of the BC Lions here, and I think BC gets another victory to go to 7-1.
I agree, and that's going to take us, ladies and gentlemen, at the last matchup of Week 10, Saskatchewan versus Edmonton. This one's short and simple. Edmonton's trash. We all know that. If they can beat Saskatchewan, then that's a laughing joke on the Saskatchewan Roughriders. They'll be the joke of the week in the league. Saskatchewan, if you lose, you're the joke of the league. You're the butt of all the jokes this week. So don't lose. Yep. That's my analysis right there.
Want to know something interesting? So I do think Saskatchewan wins this game. However, I actually think Edmonton puts up a decent fight here. Edmonton, as I will now remind, I'm gonna remind everyone every single time Edmonton has a home game until they win one. They have not won a home game as the Elks. They have not. Edmonton, you guys got to figure that out. I understand it's a difficult opponent, but people overcome that. You get over it. Get over it.
You get over it. Exactly.
Well, because you know what? They actually, through parts of that game in Saskatchewan, they actually were parts of that game where they were competing with them quite evenly. Mm-hmm. So if they can just figure out how to do that for an entire game, it wouldn't be so bad. But yeah, I'm taking Saskatchewan.
Me too, my friend. Me too. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to round everything out. Just to go over my picks for this week again quickly. Winnipeg over Montreal, Hamilton over Toronto, BC over Calgary, and Saskatchewan over Edmonton. Carter, I think, is running the exact same thing. If I'm not
going to repeat it because it's the same. It's the exact same.
So there we go. There's our predictions for this week. Let's see how wrong we are at the end of it all on Sunday. Let us know what your predictions are for this week down in the comment section below. As always, if you're new to this channel, make sure to subscribe, drop a like. It's a great way to show support. Thank you so much for watching this video. We both really appreciate it. Go and check all the affiliated links down in the description below. Subscribe if you're new. Peace, love, and positivity as always. Have a great rest of your day from both me and Carter. And as always, we'll see you guys in the next one.